This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. For months and months and months and months, I have been critical of the federal government. I've been critical of Merrick Garland and the Justice Department and their seeming lack of interest or effort or motivation or having the will to hold Donald Trump and the criminals around him accountable. Letitia James, the Attorney General of the state of New York, is not such a figure. There's another person who is the DA in Georgia, Fulton County, Georgia, who may hold Donald Trump accountable for election tampering, election interference. But I want to talk about Letitia James today because she got on Twitter yesterday and announced that they have significant evidence. Those are her words. Significant evidence that Ivanka Trump and the Trump children, even Donald Trump, are giving misstatements. They are lying. They are misrepresenting their financial situation in a fraudulent manner related to the value of their real estate on both accounts, whether it be to the bank or whether it be to tax officials. And that's fraud. That is tax fraud. That is bank fraud. That could be mail fraud. It could be a conspiracy charge. As of now, we'll see. I'm going to read these tweets to you from Letitia James last night. We are taking legal action to force Donald Trump Jr., and Ivanka Trump to comply with our investigation into the Trump Organization's financial dealings. No one in this country can pick and choose if and how the law applies to them. The tweets continue. We have uncovered significant evidence indicating that the Trump Organization used fraudulent and misleading asset valuations on multiple properties to obtain economic benefits, including loans, insurance coverage, and tax deductions for years. I'm going to continue. There's two more tweets, but that is important. They have uncovered significant evidence. This is the Attorney General of the state of New York. There's going to be consequences. It might not be at the federal level, but luckily we have some people within government at whatever level who are committed to the prospect of justice. She continues, Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump have all been closely involved in the transactions in question, so we won't tolerate their attempts to evade testifying in this investigation. We will not be deterred in our efforts to continue this investigation, uncover the facts, and pursue justice, no matter how many roadblocks Mr. Trump and his family throw in our way. No one is above the law. It's good to hear someone in an actual position of power, in an actual position to hold accountable these criminals, these fraudsters, these scamsters, these grifters. No one is above the law. Now I'm going to read a little bit from this New York Times article entitled, New York Attorney General Outlines Pattern of Possible Fraud at Trump Business. The Attorney General, Letitia James, released new details of her investigation as she argued for the need to question Donald J. Trump and two of his children under oath. And that is the part of this that they are trying to avoid. One, they don't want to answer questions anyway of anyone in power, but they certainly don't want to do it under oath. The New York State Attorney General, Letitia James, accused Donald Trump's family business late Tuesday of repeatedly misrepresenting the value of its assets to bolster its bottom line, saying in court papers that the company had engaged in fraudulent or misleading practices. The filing came in response to Mr. Trump's recent effort to block Ms. James from questioning him and two of his adult children under oath as part of a civil investigation of his business, the Trump Organization. And by the way, the Trump Organization, they act like it's this giant entity. It's a handful of people who work for the Trump Organization. It's all the brats, Donald Trump, and a few other people. It's not like when they talk about IBM or Apple. IBM, like that's a modern company. I mean, it is a small family company. There are family pizza companies who own a couple of pizza restaurants who have more employees than the Trump Organization. Still, the filing marked the first time that the Attorney General's office leveled such specific accusations against the former president's company. Her broadside ratchets up the pressure on Mr. Trump as he seeks to shut down her investigation, which he has called a partisan witch hunt. What else has Donald Trump called a partisan witch hunt? The first impeachment, the second impeachment, the details to which we all witnessed. We all read the transcript of the call with Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. We witnessed the quid pro quo happen in real time. We watched the insurrection happen. We watched what he said to lead to the insurrection. Just because Republicans don't have what it takes to hold their leaders accountable doesn't mean the rest of us aren't and don't. The filing outlined what Miss James' office termed misleading statements about the value of 6 Trump properties, as well as, quote, the Trump brand. The properties included golf clubs in Westchester County, New York, and Scotland, flagship buildings such as 40 Wall Street in Manhattan, and Mr. Trump's own penthouse home in Trump Tower. You know, the gaudy, gold, insane, stupid, I mean, you've seen pictures of it. It is, Donald Trump lives the life that a poor man thinks a rich man lives. Normal rich people, like even stupid rich people, don't live in they don't sit on gold encrusted toilets. It's just ostentatious and stupid. And right here, this page right here is where it lands. Miss James' filing argued that the company misstated the value of the properties to lenders, insurers, and the Internal Revenue Service. Many of the statements, the filing argued, were generally inflated as part of a pattern to suggest that Mr. Trump's net worth was higher than it otherwise would have appeared. Ms. James highlighted details of how she said the companies inflated the valuations. $150,000 initiation fees into Mr. Trump's golf club in Westchester that it never collected. Mansions that have not yet been built on one of his private estates, and 20,000 square feet in his Trump Tower triplex that did not exist. So he's claiming that buildings exist on a property or other amenities to a property that don't exist. And he tells that to the bank so they will value the property higher and he can borrow money against it. And then when he goes to the Internal Revenue Service or state tax officials, he says, oh no, that's a dilapidated property. It's only worth 15 or 20 million, when in reality, he's told the bank that it's worth 200 million. It's a scheme. It's a scam. It is fraud. It's criminal. In this case, it's only civil, but there are several other cases working their way through the courts. Quote, we have uncovered significant evidence that suggests Donald J. Trump and the Trump Organization falsely and fraudulently valued multiple assets and misrepresented those values to financial institutions for economic benefit, Ms. James said in a statement. So here we are. Once again, I will implore the United States Department of Justice, led by Merrick Garland, to do your job. There is copious amounts of evidence that Donald Trump has committed crimes, not just financial crimes. He incited an insurrection, an attempted overthrow of the United States government in a concerted conspiratorial effort to stay in power. If we want our country to remain our country, if we have an inkling of love and fondness for our democracy, we will demand that our leaders hold the last guy accountable. It has nothing to do with whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. It has nothing to do with the team game of politics. It has everything to do with the future of our country. A bright future in a democratic society for our children and their children. What do you think, though? I'd love to know. Am I railing on to no effect? Am I wrong? You can tell me. Leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. You can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. You can tell me I'm wrong there, too. That's another place you can tell me how wrong I am. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, which I will be shortly getting back to. And if I bring you value, even if you don't agree, but I bring you value, please consider supporting my work here on the platform. For as little as $1.99 a month, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button somewhere below this video, or you can head on over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Help me with the algorithm get back into shape. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that all the YouTubers say to do. Usually they do it at the top of the video, but you know, I'm just that different. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Until I do, I appreciate you very much. Be genuine. Take care of one another.